Hi, Sam here from Truck Smarts. Today we just thought we'd put together a year in review, a 2023 in review, sort of the stuff that's happened in the year, the stuff that we've been doing along the way, and the things that have gone maybe right for us this year, and other stuff that maybe hasn't gone so well, and we've got some lessons off the back of those. But we just kind of put together a few general things to give you a bit more of an insight as to what's happened this year in particular. Yeah, this year in particular, we've probably grown 25 to 30% this year, so it's been a big growth in terms of turnover, new customers. Part of that has been driven with the new crew operation that we established this year. We were doing a lot of travelling, so from our base in Nuneaton we were travelling all up and down the country. We had a lot of work in and around Crewe, Stoke, probably in the north of Birmingham as well, the Crewe lads tend to cover. So we set up a crew operation, and now we've got 2 vans based in Crewe that work out of those areas. So it was a massive win for us because we were able to serve a wider geographical area than what we can achieve now. Because we typically, from our location in Nuneaton, we were typically travelling up to kind of 2 hours to jobs. Sometimes if they're any further, we'd stay away. And so yeah, that was a big win for us this year, is getting those guys set up there and getting them in their own vans up there. So that was a big win this year. And following the success of the crew expansion, we've got a number of jobs that we serve down south, particularly in the southwest, and into London areas as well. So what we've been actively doing over the last month is trying to recruit for operators based in that location, again just to help us have a wider geographical reach, really. And that's going to be part of the 2024 plans moving forward, but we started the ball rolling on that one, so we're looking forward to investing in that in the future. Really, as part of the growth of 2023, we've probably welcomed 10 new customers on board this year, which has been great success for us. Some big blue chip customers coming on board, and some supermarket customers coming on board as well. So those have been some really big wins for us this year, and growing the customer base. Off the back of those new supermarket customers as well, is we kind of expanded the offering of the services that we were doing. Probably up until about the start of the year, really, we were probably geared more towards 90% of all of our work was around fleet washing and trailer washouts and sterilisation. So for washing out the backs of trailers, we got a couple of supermarket customers for those, and a couple of poultry customers as well that are dealing with food, and some food service businesses that have to keep the backs of their trailers and rigids clean. So the bulk of it was exterior fleet washing and those sterilisations and washouts. And part of the strategy this year was to try and expand the offering of interior valets, because we were getting asked more and more to do these interior valets, and we'd always done them because we hire valeters. I myself started off as a valeter, so doing cars, so I've always kind of gone out and done the valeting side of things. But this year the drive was to hire more valeters to enable us to offer that valeting as a consistent service. And yeah, this year we brought on a couple of supermarket customers that have their interiors valeted every month to every 6 weeks. So that was a really big win, because it proved for me that kind of there's a good market out there, and there's plenty of customers that want to keep their truck interiors clean. And that's particularly true now because companies have to double shift vehicles, and unfortunately they can't allocate them to set drivers. Years ago when I started, interior valeting was never really done. It was done more as a driver changeover, or it was done more as a treat at Christmas maybe. But now it's becoming part of companies' cleaning plans, because they are having to double shift vehicles and they cannot allocate trucks. So it's just a nice little win to know that drivers are going to get into a nice clean truck each time. So setting up that service and getting that running and operating, that's been a massive win for us this year. Yeah, new manager. Off the back of that, we employed Jason. He's come in as operations manager and will be doing similar role to what Tom's done, and helping us take it to that next level, which is the exciting thing as well moving forward. So yeah, I mean, 2023 has been the start of us doing all this sort of stuff. Is Bally coming on board and enabling us to be able to produce this kind of content, which has been a massive learning curve for me in particular, and it's trying to get down sometimes what's in your head on camera is quite difficult, and we're using it more and more on the website. We've updated the website with kind of all the content that we're producing at the minute. We've got a media page, and the reason that we kind of wanted to do a lot of this content was for educational purposes. Really, we wanted to educate potential customers on what we do and what we can offer, and we've tried to make the website as informative as possible. So you can go onto the website, and we're not the right choice for everybody. It's just nice that you can go onto the website, watch some of their content and come away a lot more informed than you went onto the site. So that was kind of a big goal for us this year, was to build out the website, get loads of content on there, kind of explain key issues, key questions that we have around pricing, around how long things take. So all the questions that I tend to get day to day in the business from customers and new prospects, we've tried to make content to cover off those questions, so that it makes it more informative for new prospects coming on board. With Jason's arrival, back end of this year, he's just started this week, which has been fantastic. New operations manager. Jason's primarily going to be working out of the unit, out of the office. So as part of our 2024 plans, we're having a meeting room built. Meeting room / training room / filming room for me and Bally. So we're going to be doing the build over the next couple of months. So it allows us to do all our training in-house, because whenever we hold meetings at the minute, we'll hire rooms, or we'll do it externally, but we really wanted to do everything at our premises. So yeah, we're building the meeting room at the minute, and that'll allow us to do all training or meetings in-house, which would be fantastic. So part of what we do is that we have the vans for so long, and we tend to probably only keep our vans for 5 or 6 years maximum, really. Some of the older, couple of years old vans, we've had all the flooring redone, and we've renovated those inside. So we've done some big renovations this year on all of the vans, and we've had 2 new vans join the fleet as well. So that's been great. It's always nice to get new bits of kit into the business. Nice to get new vans on board as well, and allocate those to guys that really want to look after them and keep on top of them moving forward, really. But yeah, that was our big plans for this year, was to do all the renovations so that we kind of replicated our setup across every single van. So every single van we have is exactly the same inside. So that was one of the big things, is that if ever we had kit down, or we ever had vans in for service, or we ever had machines in for service, we wanted our staff to be able to jump in another van and know where everything is, and have exactly the same setup across all of them. So that was a big project for this year, and we got that done. So part of 2023 was to renovate all the vans, and part of that process was to buy all new pressure washers. So we bought loads of new pressure washers. I think we bought 9 in total, and fit them throughout the vans. And as a result of the pressure washers we chose to fit in the end, we managed to reduce our emissions by half. So we're not using the boiler aspect so much anymore on the pressure washers. So what we did was replace those for simpler pressure washers that do exactly the same job. And as a result, we managed to halve the emissions. So that was a massive plus point for us, because we're keen eventually to get to net zero. So that was a big plus for us, that we were able to cut the emissions in half straight away by changing all of those. Another thing that we wanted to do throughout 2023, and part of our content strategy, was to build out our own training series, a Truck Smart training series. So whenever we have any new starters on board, they can kind of go through a series of training videos on how we wash the truck smart way. And that's really important, because with all these different bases that we're building all around the country, I wanted to make sure that a customer in Crewe is going to get the same service as one centrally in Nuneaton. And part of that was ensuring that we have a set way that we wash the trucks and set processes. And a big thing for me has been in training the staff. So we built a training series that allows us to get that message across to new starters, and also for existing staff, as well as little reminders for any points for improvement, or any points for concern. We can raise that in training. So we built a training series that we're really happy with, and new starters will be getting on board with that in 2024. So throughout the last year as well, we've welcomed, as I mentioned before, new team members. We've had new full-time team members, but we've also had new part-time team members as well. So a key point of our business is having both full-time and part-time, just to ensure that we get 12 days coverage, because we're a business that never stops. It's a 12-day operation. So where you can't get your full-time staff, sometimes we have to bring in part-time staff to fill in the gaps a little bit. So we've welcomed some new part-time staff this year, and they've been fantastic. So looking forward to investing in them in 2024 and getting them on some more training. So yeah, that's been a big win for 2023 as well. So a big part of 2023 was switching up our chemical supply. So we went back to AutoSmart, and now we're using all AutoSmart products. Essentially what they've been able to give us is a better quality product that dilutes further, and as a result it was a nice little saving for us. I think it was like £300 or £400 a month saving, so that was fantastic. Allowed us to invest in other areas of the business. So yeah, we're looking forward to another year's relationship with Lee and the guys at AutoSmart. So kind of just in reflection in general of the whole year, really, we've had lots of wins, loads of positives, lots of lessons, lots of learning. But I'd probably say of the 14 years that I've been in business, it's probably been one of the toughest years to be in business. I mean, the early days were tough because you were fighting for every pound and you were fighting for every customer and investing all the while, and really it never stops. The investment never really stops. You're always buying new equipment and you're always buying new vans. That aspect of things becomes easier because you can become a bigger business. But the challenges that businesses have had this year, and you can see it in the transport industry in general, that there's more transport companies going bust at the minute than for a long time. I think it was like 462 or that, around that kind of figure. over the course of the year. The big thing for us this year has been big challenges, inflation, our costs going up, our staff wages going up. I think on average our staff's wages are probably about 20% higher than where they were maybe 2 years ago, and a lot of other businesses are in the same situation as well. So staffing costs have gone up. Fuel has been a massive one for us. We've spent a lot of money on fuel for these vans. That's gone up. Just in general, our supplies have gone up. So things like quick release connectors that we use a lot of, and triggers, pressure washer triggers, they've gone up £20 on what is a £40 trigger. So now they're £60. So little things like that is we're having to absorb, but when we're buying probably 50 of them over the course of the year, it soon adds up. So we've had challenges in terms of costs and inflation, but every business has, particularly the transport industry as well. Staffing at times has been an issue, but I think it is for every business. We've just got into a habit of continually trying to recruit, so we're always actively recruiting. We're always trying to find great people, and sometimes if we don't have a job we'll create one for somebody that comes along, and we'll find work for them. So that's probably been the biggest thing of 2023 is that, or one of the biggest things is to continually recruit. So we're trying to constantly recruit and constantly find great people, so that we never have down days, because we can't afford to not be doing the work. So we've just been on our way to pick up some new pressure washers. So we've got 2 new pressure washers in the back, and this kind of completes our 2023 renovation on all of the older vans. So now we've got all new bits of kit in every single van. So it'll just be part of, for us, investing in new equipment is less downtime. In the truck world, it's exactly the same as well. When trucks get a bit older, they need to be replaced, and it's the same with pressure washers as well. So these new pressure washers are going to be less downtime, less maintenance. All in all, just more reliability for us as a business. So that's why we went on this renovation series of all the older vans, was just to ensure that we had less downtime across all of the vans. And then this is the final 2 coming in at the minute, and then looking ahead to 2024, we'll get some more ordered when new vans come into the fleet. So thank you for watching the 2023 year updates for TruckSmart. Planning loads of new content in the new year, so keep a lookout for what we're producing in 2024. We're really excited about 2024 and what we've got planned. So just wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.